Predator is a din wooden coaster located at Six Flags Darien Lake that is disliked by many coaster enthusiasts for its roughness and uninspiring layout. Despite getting solid reviews in its early years, Predator has become rough and unenjoyable in its older years. I've ridden Predator over a dozen times, and I agree with most of the common complaints of this coaster being rough, boring, and giving an overall poor experience. All of these issues have led many to believe that this coaster may receive the RMC Iron Horse treatment. Rocky Mountain Construction, aka RMC, is a company that has taken the amusement park industry by storm with its new styles of coasters. One of their most popular models is their iBox track. RMC uses this track to take boring and rough wooden coasters and convert them into state-of-the-art hybrid coasters that feature ample amounts of airtime hills and inversions. Many people, including myself, have thought that Predator is the perfect candidate for this treatment. Today I'll be looking at the possibility of this idea actually coming to life. Before we hop into the video, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to the channel as well, because that's the best way to show your support for the channel, and it tells me you're enjoying the content. I'd also like you to know this video is all speculation and nothing I say is guaranteed to happen. Now let's stop wasting time and get right into the video. First, I want to give you guys some background knowledge about Darien Lake in order to make a more accurate prediction and for you guys to understand my prediction. Six Flags Darien Lake is a 1,200-acre property located in Darien Center, Darien. The park was recently reacquired by Six Flags in 2018. Six Flags is known for working with RMC to build new rides. They've also done many iBox conversions at their parks with RMC. Darien Lake's most recent coaster was Tantrum, which is a Gersal Eurofighter. Tantrum was actually installed when Premier Parks was managing the park, so Six Flags didn't really have to pay for it. Unfortunately, Darien Lake has only received 2 roller coasters in the 2000s after many changes in management have prevented them from ever getting consistent additions. They are actually supposed to work with RMC to make Predator a more modern wooden coaster around 2013, but those plans fell through. That led to many questions if the park would ever even consider RMCing Predator. When Six Flags took over, some hope was restored that there was a chance of this dream project happening. However, some of Six Flags' recent actions have pointed to this project not ever happening. At the beginning of the 2019 season, Six Flags worked to retract part of Predator's final sections in order to help improve the smoothness of the coaster. This pointed to the park keeping Predator around for a while, which is surprising due to the reputation of the ride. However, I think this was less of a casual improvement to the coaster. I think it was really just a last gasp attempt to save the coaster from being removed to RMC. In my experiences at the park, Predator seems to have decent ridership, but I think this is a little bit deceiving. Predator is the first ride you'll see when you walk into the park, so that drives a lot of people to go ride it first thing in the morning. Also, Predator is notorious for having slower operations and it only has 1 train, so that causes the line to build up way more than it should. I've noticed that the line for Predator throughout the day never seems to get any longer than it does at the beginning of the day, which proves the theory of it not being as popular as you might think. But those are just my experiences, and feel free to tell me your experiences in the comments below. But following along with that theory, Six Flags might have been trying to make an effort to help improve ridership, without having to spend the money to convert it to an RMC. I believe if this strategy were to fail, Six Flags would either have to remove the ride, or go with the much smarter route, which would be to RMC the ride. Another argument against RMC Predator is that many will say Six Flags won't invest in the park, which is a valid argument. Parks on the scale of Darien Lake like Six Flags America or Six Flags St. Louis have struggled to get significant investments over the years, while the bigger parks eat up the bigger coasters. Many will ask why Darien Lake should be treated any differently. Well, I actually have some decent evidence to argue that Six Flags will invest in this park. The first reason is that Darien Lake has a lot of potential. They have a huge performing arts center and campground, and a hotel that is all located at the park. They have a lot of land to work with here, and the market isn't honestly that bad, with Buffalo, Toronto, Erie, Rochester, and Syracuse all being within a few hours of the park. The park already gets decent attendance for being a local park, but that can be expedited with some good investments. Six Flags has actually been making an effort to improve some of the smaller parks, like with the DC area redo that just took place at Six Flags America. Anyways, as of now, the park's marquee attraction is Ride of Steel, which is over 20 years old now. Ride of Steel has gotten a bit rough with its age, which hurts public perception on it. Turning Predator into a smooth and enjoyable ride would give the park a boost, and it would likely become the park's new star attraction. My other reason is the park has already received some decent investments from Six Flags. Some of the things they've gotten from Six Flags are Fright Fest, new branding, the park's tallest ride of the Sky Screamer, and the fresh new area that came with it. Darien Lake was supposed to get a water slide and a water park overhaul in 2020 that was desperately needed. Six Flags has shown some interest in investing in Darien Lake. RMCs are crowd pleasers, and that is what exactly Darien Lake needs. Predator is one of the last non-classical woodies left in the Six Flags chain and is literally begging to be RMC'd. A good reason for Predator being RMC'd would be that Predator is aging. Predator's 30th anniversary was supposed to be in 2020, which means maintenance costs for the coaster will rise. The coaster only has one train from my knowledge, so that train goes over the hill. They'll have to make a choice whether they want to put thousands of dollars into replacing it. It might be a more logical investment to RMC it and give it fresh new trains from RMC rather than trying to buy a new train for the ride. Like I said, Predator is the first ride guests will see as they come in from the park from the front entrance, so the shiny new track is sure to catch everyone's eye, especially if it gives rave reviews. Knowing Six Flags, they will probably choose to RMC Predator or remove it. I don't really see them removing this ride because the plot of land it sits on is pretty slim. Predator is built into itself, so it creates a longer experience, but it'd be tougher trying to put a new coaster here, so there's not too much benefit in removing it. The other option is they may just bring up a total retrack. Doesn't sound bad until you look at all the failed retrackings this ride has had. Predator has had many retrackings that didn't improve the ride and the overall experience. I think the retracking should stop and Six Flags should give the park their next star attraction using that same structure. When could it happen? If Predator gets RMC'd, I don't think it'll happen for a few years. The park has already booked for 2021, but since its 2020 edition, Wahoo Wave, has been delayed. This already puts us back to 2022 at best. Unfortunately, Six Flags has struggled financially throughout 2020, and that will probably push back or even cancel some new rides. I don't think this will come until at least 2023 or 2024 at the earliest. There's still a lot to be decided, so it could be pushed back even further depending on how the next couple of years play out for the park and the chain as a whole. My answer for the original question is if RMC Predator happens, it won't happen for a while. My prediction. This is really tough to predict. On one hand, I want to have hope and believe in Six Flags. On the other hand, part of me just thinks if they wanted to RMC Predator, they would have already done it. The rumors that the Lake Monster project being denied by the town board is definitely alarming for anything the park may do with Predator. And I'm thinking, unfortunately, it could hold the park back from ever doing that. There's definitely a strong argument on why Six Flags should RMC Predator, but I'm not sure if there's a lot of evidence why they will. Unfortunately, I'm predicting that Darien Lake won't RMC Predator in the next 5 years at least. Between Six Flags struggling and the lack of love put in the smaller parks in the chain, it seems like a big ask to predict RMC Predator for Darien Lake at this point. Smaller Six Flags parks with other prime candidates for the treatment include Roar at Six Flags America, Boston Six Flags St. Louis, and Le Monster at La Ronde. All haven't been RMC'd after many years of the theory being thrown around. The smaller parks in the chain don't seem primed for RMCs in Six Flags' mind. There's an argument for Darien Lake that it could be different, but that's when I bring up the pandemic and Six Flags' financial problems. Darien Lake has been closed for almost a year now, and it'll be a struggle to make a full recovery in 2021 and even in 2022. It could be years before we see another significant attraction come to the park. I certainly hope that Predator gets RMC'd, but I just can't see it happening right now. That's my take on the future of Predator at Darien Lake. This ride can be a bit polarizing, so that's a debate on its own. Do you think Predator deserves to be RMC'd, or do you think it's fine the way it is? And do you think Six Flags would actually put the money into the park to RMC it? Put all those thoughts down in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to show your support by leaving a like, and don't forget to subscribe if you already haven't. If you'd like to see more Darien Lake videos, go check out the playlist of Darien Lake videos on my channel. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.